determination to overcome her husband's unwillingness. And so, which resulted in Diti producing the twins of the same consciousness, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So these two powerful demons, they kind of became the curse of the universe. That is what we will see in the later sections as well. So let me read the verses. I'm opening up the slides. Okay, so let me read the verses 34 to 35 so that we get the context for the verses 36, 37, and 38, or very specifically 36. So I'm reading the verses translated by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. In 32, he said, "O son of Bharat family, Diti, after this, went nearer to her husband, her face lowered because of her faulty action. She spoke as follows." In 34, the beautiful Diti said, "My dear Brahmana, kindly see that my embryo is not killed by Lord Shiva, the Lord of all living entities, because of the great offense I have committed against him." 35, let me offer my obeisance unto the angry Lord Shiva, who is simultaneously the very ferocious great demigod and the fulfiller of our material desires. He is all auspicious and forgiving, but his anger can immediately move him to chastise. So Rudra and Ashutosh, that is what we had discussed last time, I believe, right? Yesterday. So we'll read the first verse. Shobha Mataji, do you want to read the sloka?
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam Prabhuji. Hari Bol. Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Sloka number 36. Sanah prasithatam jamma Bhagavan urtu anugrahah Vyadhasyati anukam Piyanam Shrinam Devah Sati Patihi. Should I read the translation, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, you can read the translation.
Translation to Yesu Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada teaches, let him be pleased with us since he is my brother-in-law, the husband of my sister Sati. He is also the worshipable Lord of all women. He is the personality of all opulences and can show mercy towards women who are excused even by the uncivilized hunters. Haribol.
Haribol. Thank you, Mataji. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his commentary, he says that she is now Diti is full of worry. She's in anxiety, complete anxiety, and she is now praising Lord Shiva, just trying to in this way trying to show her humility. Then she's praying to remove the fears. We can all her fears. So we can see that she's actually fearful now and of the situation because she's worried for her Ambrose. So she's invoking this by the word satipati. So satipati means husband of Sati, who happens to be her younger sister. So she is trying to invoke that mercy of Lord Shiva via Sati. Usually it happens, right? So when um, we if our father is upset with us, we try to invoke his kindness through our mother, right? We do that, right? Or we used to do that. So it is like our mata pati kind of thing. So we refer to or we reach out to our father through via our mother, so that we can seek his kindness. So similarly here, uh, it is Diti is trying to invoke the kindness of Lord Shiva so that he can show some mercy by by invoking the kindness of Sati, and from via her Lord Shiva. So she is hoping that Lord Shiva will not punish her because he is, after all, her brother-in-law. So in purport, it is said that Lord Shiva is the husband of Sati, one of the sisters of Diti, so younger sister of Diti. So Diti invoked the pleasure of her sister Sati so that Sati would request her husband to excuse her. Besides that, Lord Shiva is the worshipable Lord of all women. He is naturally very kind towards women, on whom even the uncivilized hunters also show their mercy. Right. So in the verse, it is. It is in the next verse. So uncivilized hunters, or people who have no mercy, or even though they show that mercy on women. So Lord Shiva can obviously, because he is naturally very kind towards women, he can show that mercy. That is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. So Lord Shiva himself is associated with women. He knows very well their defective nature, and he might not take very seriously Diti's unavoidable offense which occurred due to her faulty nature. So here, if we recollect Bhagwatam cosmology, even in that we know that this Bhumandal is divided into seven dvipas, and this particular Jambudvip is divided into 9 varshas. So out of these varshas, the one of that is Ilavrat Varsha. So Ilavrat Varsha, Lord Shiva resides in Ilavrat Varsha along with his wife Bhavani. So anyone knows what is the specialty of this particular Varsha, Ilavat Varsha? Any idea? No thoughts? Okay.
And
So
Prabhuji
this,
Dandavat Pranam,
yes,
only
Mataji.
Shiva is the male and others are female. No other men are allowed to enter that. Is that correct?
Yes, Mataji. Haribol. Very right. So the specialty of this is Shiva is only the male personality in this particular island, and all other Shiva and Bhavani, they are served by the maid servants who are all female. And if any male attempts to enter this province, it is said that Bhavani curses that particular person, curses him to be a woman. So so Shiva is always surrounded with women. So when being that, and being a grahastha, he understands the nature of women. So here, when Prabhupada says that defective nature is referring to this particular context wherein Diti was particularly jealous of Aditi, and she, because of that, she wanted to have superior kids. Uh, Usually we see this as a we usually see that, right? When women, they are in parties, they prefer to see the ornaments and the saris of other women. And it is said that men, even if they wear the same dress repeatedly for almost every day per week, that particular week, even his friend would not notice it. But in women, if there is slight change even in the ornament, their husbands may not notice it, but the other woman easily notice it. So one of the reasons probably is because of the jealousy that is for them. So they have in them, which is one of the qualities of women. So in this particular pastime, in this particular contest, because of this nature, uh, it turned out to be disastrous, and that is why Prabhupada says it is because of this her defective nature in this particular context. Lord Shiva may probably understand it and forgive her. So every virgin girl is supposed to be a devotee of Lord Shiva. Diti remembered her childhood worship of Lord Shiva and begged his mercy. So it is a well-known fact in India that whenever we want a good husband, when girls want a good husband, they worship Lord Shiva, and whenever they want to remove the impediments in their path of marriage, they worship goddess Katyani. So that is why we see in Bhagwatam, gopis, they have a good husband. I mean, they have a good prospect, Lord Krishna. So they are not worshipping Lord Shiva, but they are worshipping Katyani, so that that uh, the hurdles on the way to their marriage is removed, and they would be able to marry Lord Shiva. So moving on to the next verse, um, Vasudha Mataji, do you want to take up this verse?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु
Danda Pranam Mataji.
मैत्रेय उवाच स्वसर्गस्यासितं लोक्याम् आसासानां प्रवेपतिं निवृत्तसन्ध्यानियमो भार्याम् आह प्रजापतिः Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Maitreya said, the great sage Kashyapa thus addressed his wife, who was trembling because of fear that her husband was offended. She understood that he had been disordered from his daily duties of offering evening prayers, yet she desired the welfare of her children in the world. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Balaji. So here, Maitri Muni is saying, Tidura, that Kashyap, he is now addressing his wife. Now you can see the last part of this loka. It is she desired for the welfare of her children in the world. So if you recollect, when she went back to Kashyap, she's she started saying that she is worried about her embryo, about her children. So more than repenting for action, she was repenting. She was repenting because she offended her husband. But more than that, she was more worried about her kids. Swa Swa Sarga. So what she says, Swa Sargasya means of her children. Ashisham. So she is worried about the welfare of her children. And uh, more than worrying about being offending her husband in or disturbing her husband in a daily evening sadhana. We'll read this particular verse does not have purport, so we'll move on to the next verse. Ramakrishna Prabhu, do you want to read the verse?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
38. Kashyapa uvacha apraya aprayatyatum atmanaha doshan nau mahurtika kaduta mannideshaticharena devanam chatihelanat. Translation. The learned Kashyapa said, because of your minds being polluted, because of defilement of the particular time, because of your negligence of my directions, and because of your being apathetic to the demigods, everything was inauspicious.
Haribol. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
So here Kashyap Muni is pointing out four faults that had happened in this particular pastime. So he says, Aprayayat Atmanaha means the polluted mind because of the impurity of the mind. Second was Doshat Mahuratikat means because of the fault of time. Then the third fault was uh, Nidesha Aticharena means disregard of the instructions of Kashyapa. And fourth fault was being Devanam Atihelanat means basically disregard for the demigods or Lord Shiva in this particular case. And what happened because of these four faults? Because of these four faults, two inauspicious low sons, basically they were born to her, and because of which these three worlds will be constantly affected with pain, and even the devtas will suffer because of her. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in his commentary that because of the impurity of your mind, you will have two sons of cruel mind. So because of the mind fault in your mind, your sons will also have some faulty mind. They will have cruel mind. Because of the fault of choosing a terrible Muhurta, you will at twilight, so you will have two terribly ferocious sons. Because this particular Muhurat has actually can be divided in two particular parts. So this twilight can last for two Gatikas. Gatika is approximately 24 minutes. So there are two Gatikas. So you choose terrible two Gatikas, because of which you will have two terrible child. So because of ignoring my instructions, your sons will also ignore the laws of dharma. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, because of ignoring the form of Shiva, Devanam, because you ignored the forms of Lord Shiva or the forms of for the disrespected Devas, your sons will also disrespect Devas and the Supreme Person of Godhead. So so he says that "Oh Abhadre," it is in verse number 13, and you will see that he refers, Vishwanath Charya Thakur mentions in this commentary for this verse that "Oh Abhadre," which is an "Oh unfortunate woman," this because of this inauspicious action of your sons, it will inauspiciousness will spread everywhere because of your these four faulty things that you have done, and they will be born from your womb, but because of their individual and collective fault, they will affect the world with pain. Oh Chandi, is a Chandi is passionate woman. So oh Chandi, because of expressing passion in spite of my words, you will receive this result. That is what Kashyapa Muni says to Diti. He then criticizes him that you are the reservoir of lust and anger, and he expresses his anger towards his wife. So another example of this particular similar behavior is with Kaikeshi. Anyone knows who is Kaikeshi?
Ravana's mother.
Ravana.
Hari Bol. So she also approached her husband Vishrava at an inappropriate time, and we know what was the result, right? So we have Ravana being born there. So things have to be done in proper time. For it is not applicable for devotion for Krishna, but people who are in karma kand, for them this particular mahurata has to be it has to be very accurate. So the whole day is divided into approximately 30 muhurtas, each being around approximately 48 minutes. So we have different muhurtas, one being Brahma Muhurta, right? So Brahma Muhurta is also very auspicious, and because it is more dominated by Satvik, it is said that if we do our chanting, if we do our spiritual practice during that time, there will be minimal disturbances at the time. So every muhurta, depending upon the different arrangement of stars and yeah, the astrologers, they can say that, hey, which muhurta can have more dominance of which guna, and for this particular action, how would be its effect on that. So this is mainly for karma kant. Again, it is for chanting the holy name of Lord. There is no muhurta. All 24 hours, all the 30 muhurtas are auspicious. Okay, so in purport, Srila Prabhupada says the condition for having good progeny in a society are that the husband should be disciplined in religious regulatory principles, and the wife should be faithful to the husband. Prabhupada does not say that the wife should only be faithful to the husband. He says that and he says and, not or. He says and the husband should be disciplined, religious and regulatory principles. It was because in the previous time, if you see most of the husbands that we see, they were all rishis, or if not rishis, they were devoted to the Lord. They were engaged in spiritual practice by default. It was not only the brahmanas who were engaged; it was even the shudras who were engaged in the devotional service or in any spiritual activities or religious activities. So usually people look up to Shudras as the lowest, or people um, who have basically least significance, but that is not the case. Shudras are the one who are serving Brahmanas, and that is what we are, right? I mean, that is what we have been taught. Dasana dasanu das. So we have to serve the devotees of the Lord. So obviously Shudras are not the lowest, but from the perspective of spiritual practice, they because they do not get so much involved, they do not read the Vedas as Brahmanas, do not have that qualities like the Brahmanas. That is why from the spiritual perspective they are considered to be lower. But otherwise these Shudras can be intellectually, materially, very academically very smart. They can be scientists, they can be doctors, they can be anyone. But this Brahmanas, this Varnashram, you have to understand from the spiritual or religious perspective, not from just the social perspective. So here, the husband should be disciplined, follow regulatory principle. Even the Shudras, they were following regulatory principles at that time. People who were not following those, they were usually called as Malichas or Chandalas, and they were outside this Varnashrama. And usually, in most cases, the place for these people were in the forest, so they were not allowed even to be the part of the society, because then it is said one rotten apple can spoil the whole basket. So they were asked to stay outside may if not the forest, but outskirts of the village. So in earlier time, all the most of the husbands were disciplined in religious and regulatory principles, and because of which the usually it was said that, hey, you should wives women were said that you should be faithful to your husband. But over the period of time, uh, things change. So husband, men are no more because of Kali Yuga, and so they are no more interested even in forget about actually following. They were not even interested in following the regulatory principles. So, but then again, asking wives to be faithful to the husband is wrong, because, but if they still do that, they will get the benefit. But then demanding it is what incorrect. So it was earlier, it was perfectly fine, and when they do that, it was the progeny was very good. So in Bhagavad Gita 7.11, it is said that the sexual intercourse, according to the religious principles, is the representation of Krishna consciousness. So what does Krishna say in 7.11 in Bhagavad Gita? Dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi. Dharma aviruddho means what? Which is against the dharma. So dharma aviruddho. So which is not against the dharma. Bhuteshu kamoshmi. So I am that sex life. That is what Krishna says. Shri Krishna says. So before engaging in sexual intercourse, both husband and the wife must consider their mental condition, the particular time, the husband's direction, and obedience of the demigods, which is what we are talking about in this particular verse. According to the Vedic society, there is a suitable auspicious time for sex life, which is called the time for Garbhadhana. So Garbhadhana in Vedic is very very complicated, but from different Vaishnavas in ISKCON, I kind of compiled this. So Garbhadhana Sanskar, which is basically a spiritual approach for conception. So what do say if before union, devotee family, what should they do? They should establish a Krishna centered Grahastha life. So they should be devotee. Uh, their action should be centered Krishna. Even union should be centered Krishna. Independent relationship it should be for the sole purpose of conceiving. It should not be for sense gratification. So basically, it should be purpose driven. The purpose should be for progeny and not for having basically devotees as their child, but and not the sense gratification, not indriya tripti. Third is avoid relations on prohibited days like Ekadashi, Amavasya, appearance day of great acharyas, Vaishnava acharyas, and all. So that should also be followed. So husband should consume sufficient grainy prasadam during that day, and wife should opt for lighter prasadam on that particular day of union. They should offer the prasadam also to the saintly people and seek their blessings. Our some Vaishnavas, some gurus in ISKCON, they say that uh, we should chant a minimum of 50 rounds before bedtime, before the union. So minimum 50 rounds should be chanted before that. So when you do this, what happens when you do 50 rounds, when 50 rounds together, when you have this, when you take the association of the saintly people, offering prasad, basically you're taking that association. So when you do that, your consciousness automatically becomes centered towards Krishna. And consciousness actually affects the sperm quality, because when we conceive with a conscious disease focus on enjoyment alone, then the resultant the child will be more dominated with material qualities, while a Krishna consciousness, a Krishna centered consciousness can basically lead to a devotee child naturally. So you will usually see, right, in even though probably most of us might have not have done this, followed this, but even though we usually see that our kids, because of the associational, they have more tendency to move towards Krishna consciousness as compared to our childhood times. So in ISKCON, basically Garbhadhan sanskar is recommended as a what you say, as a spiritual approach for conceiving child with 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 a quality rather than quantity. So and then aligning their consciousness with Krishna. So there are some positive examples as well in the Shastras that we can see. So one is uh, Diti's sister Aditi. She performed Payovrata, and she drank milk only milk for 12 days, and she intensely served all the devotees of the Lord and to Lord as well. And at the same time, Kashyap Muni also performed different austerities. By default, he anyways performed austerities. He performed different austerities for many years, performing celibacy, brahmacharya. So at the result of which they got Vamanadev themselves. The other example that we see is of Devki and Vasudev. So Devki and Vasudev in their previous life as Sutapa and Prishni, they performed severe austerities for many years. They only ate roots and fruits. They were in cold, hot weather, and so on and so forth. So, but as a result of which, they got Prishni Garbha. In the next life, again as Aditya and Kashyap that we saw, they got Vamanadev. And in the next life, again they got as Vasudev and Devki, they begot Lord Krishna. So with proper Garbhadhan, these are different Garbhadhana. So proper Garbhadhana Sanskar, or with proper Krishna centric consciousness, we can also have kids who are Krishna consciousness. So according to Garbhadhan, okay. So Diti neglected all the principles of scriptural injunctions, and therefore, although she was very anxious for auspicious children, she was informed that her children won't be worthy to be the son of even Brahmanas. This is a clear indication herein that the Brahmana son is not always a Brahmana. The word that is used is Brahma Bandhu. So Brahma Bandhu means a person who is born from a Brahmana father, who has a Brahmana father, but whose activities are not as per the standards of Brahmana. So such person is not called a Brahmana, but a Brahmana Bandhu. An example is Ashwatthama. Here Prabhupada has given examples of uh, Ravana and Hiranyakashipu. So they were actually born of the Brahmanas, but they were not accepted as Brahmanas because their fathers did not allow the regulatory did not follow the regulatory principles for their father and their parents did not follow. In the what Prabhupada says now, Prabhupada makes an interesting statement. There were only one or two Rakshasas in the previous ages due to the negligence of disciplinary methods. So very rare, not very often. They did the parents did not follow, and there were one or two Rakshasas or few Rakshasas, handful of Rakshasas there. But during the age of Kali Yuga, there is no discipline in sex life. How then can one expect good children? Certainly, unwanted children cannot be the source of happiness in society. So, in Shrimad Bhagwatam, 6th canto, 18th chapter, 40th verse in the purport, Prabhupada says that a relationship between the husband and wife without spiritual consciousness, strictly for sense gratification is not very good. He quotes Shrimad Bhagavatam other verse saying that in this age of Kali Yuga, uh, the relationship between the husband and the wife will be based on sexual power only. Dhampatye abhiruchir hetu. Only abhiruchi. It is only for the taste of sex, sense gratification, that they will have this relationship. Therefore, householder life in this Kali Yuga is extremely dangerous. Prabhupada says in the purport. And is dangerous unless both the wife and the children wife and the husband take to Krishna consciousness. And that is what Prabhupada continues in this particular line of this purport, that he says certainly unwanted children cannot be a source of happiness in society, but through Krishna consciousness movement they can be raised to human standard by chanting the holy name of the God. This is the unique contribution of the Lord Chaitanya to human society. So in Kali Yuga, everyone is born Shudra. Kalau Shudra Sambhava. So everyone is born Shudra in this age of Kali. There is no Brahmana, no Kshatriya, no Vaishya. It is all Shudra who has taken up the activities of Brahmana and Kshatriya and all. Just externally most of the time. So, but because of the chanting, because of Lord Chaitanya's mercy that he brought his Harinam Sankirtan, even though we are born as Shudras, we can elevate to the level of Brahmanas. And this is not just what ISKCON says. See, there are different evidences. A few of them quoted here. Padma Puran says, I will just read the verse. Explain. So here what they say, Na Shudra Bhagavat Bhaktas. So if a Bhagavat Bhakta should not be considered as Shudra. Te tu Bhagavata Mataha. So such devotees of the Lord should be considered, recognized as the Bhagavatas. Sarva Varneshu Te Shudra. All Varnas have to be considered as Shudra when may it be Brahmana, Kshatriya, whoever. So they Sarva Varna Te Shudras if ye na bhakti janardane. So if they do not know what is Krishna conscious, if they do not know bhakti, if they're not interested in bhakti, so even if they're any part either born in any varna, they have to be considered Shudra. In Padma Puran again it is said that if a person born in Brahmana family is a Vaishnava, a non-devotee, one should not see his face. Exactly as one should not look upon the face of a Chandala or a dog eater. However, a Vaishnava found in the Varnas other than Brahmana can purify all three worlds. So even if a person from Brahmana, if he's a Vaishnava, he is atheist, so it is the strong statement that we should not even see his face. One, obviously this is what now we are and at least in my case I am a Vaishnava. I am still not completely serious in Krishna consciousness, but in our day-to-day life we meet these people. So if you are going to work, if you see such people around, we cannot just avoid seeing their face. But what it means that in this time that we should avoid their association to whatever possible. Again, in Padma Puran, it is said that one who considers a devotee of the Supreme Lord who was born in the family of Shudras, Nishadas, or Chandalas to belong to a particular caste certainly goes to hell. So, for a devotee, even if we consider those people as Chandalas, though they were born as Chandalas Malechas, I mean, this we are offending them, we are offending the Lord, and the only place for such offenders is hell. Even in Garuda Purana, there is a quote which says that even if one is born as a Malecha, if he becomes a devotee, he is to be considered the best of the Brahmanas and a learned Pandita. Srila Haridas Thakur is one such great example. Even in other there are other examples as a Tattva, Sagara and all, where it is said that a bell metal, we might have heard that earlier, right? Though scientists might have not able to prove it, but a bell metal it turn into gold when mixed with mercury. That is what say. This is called a chemical process. So probably the right time to a right amount, and also this may still be possible, but scientists are yet they have not yet achieved it. So so similarly, if one is properly trained and initiated, a bell metal, basically a Shudra, by a bona fide spiritual master, which is Mercury in this case, he becomes a Brahmana immediately. So this particular metal turns into a gold. So all these evidences are revealed in the scriptures. They prove that according to the Vedic version, a Vaishnava is never to be considered as a Brahmana or a Vaishnava, non-Brahmana. So Vaishnava should not be thought always to be considered to be of a lower caste. So they, even though they are born over there, and this is because of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Srila Prabhupada, because of the Harinam Sankirtan, and because Srila Prabhupada propagated that throughout the world. So even people born as Shudras and Malechas, they are elevated to the level of Brahmana and even above that. So we'll move on to the next verse. Sindhu Mataji, you have already mentioned the verse
No,
earlier. Yeah,
no,
Mataji,
Prabhu,
please
I have not.
please go ahead, Mataji.
Hari Bol. Pranam, Prabhuji.
Namaste.
3.14.39. भविष्यतास्तवा भद्राव अभद्रे जातराधमौ लोकान् सपालां स्त्रीं शान्ति मुहुरक्रान्दयिष्यतः. Read the translation. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O haughty one, you will have two contemptuous sons born of your condemned womb. Unlucky women, they will cause constant lamentation to all the three worlds.
Very well. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So here you see those two words which we had discussed earlier in Vishwanath Chakra Thakur for the previous verse, Abhadre and Chandi. So he is criticizing her for her behavior, and because of which the whole world will now have to suffer. So he is being a sadhu, being a Vaishnava, he's worried about the hetu of the whole world. And he's saying because of this, now whole of them have to, if it was his own suffering, then probably he might not have criticized her. But now because the whole world will have to suffer because of this, because of her this faulty behavior, he's upset with her. So even though though they were followers of religious principle earlier, but because of this particular incident, now there will be the birth of twin atheists or twin asuras in the womb of Diti. It is said that this when during the pregnancy, uh, the sun was covered during the pregnancy of the sun was covered, and when she was giving birth to this twin, there were earthquakes everywhere. There are comets, earthquakes, which kind of give the signs of inauspiciousness. It is said that there were dark clouds which rain filth, and the cows they yielded blood from their udders. So we can, I mean, just during the birth we can see such extreme inauspiciousness. So once they grow up, we can just we know that, but we can just imagine how actually how worse they would be. Probably Bhagwatam might not have covered how really bad they were, but we can just imagine how really inauspicious, how really cruel these two twin atheists were. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, uh, contemptuous sons are born of the condemned womb of their mother. So in Bhagavad Gita 1.40, it is said that when there is a deliberate negligence of the religious principles of the religious life, the woman as a class becomes polluted, and as a result, there are unwanted children. So what happens? Woman will become pradushyati. Pradushanti means they will become polluted, and because of what will happen? Varna Shankara. Varna Shankara means unwanted population. There will be unwanted population. So when you say unwanted, people nowadays they will say that, oh, we did birth control, we did not work unfortunately, so and we did not so this unwanted progeny came up, and we then decided to, okay, let's not abort, let us have this child. But this is not a context of unwanted children over here. The context here is when in this verse, when Krishna and Arjuna were discussing 5,000 years back, unwanted progeny is the progeny with poor consciousness, with degraded mindsets that we discussed in the last verse. So the consciousness of the child is basically determined by the consciousness of the couple during the union, and that is why we have these different sanskaras, garbhadhana sanskaras and all. This is so people usually they say that hey, anyways, the soul, if not as the soul, anyways has to take birth somewhere or the other. So anyways, why not give a body? Why to follow all those things and all? Doesn't make sense. If we don't give to get progeny, then someone else the soul will take birth. So it is what difference it will make? This mentality is like thinking, hey, anywhere there will be criminals everywhere around the globe. So why not let's have criminal in a house? But who wants criminal in the house? No one, right? Isn't it? So not forget our house. They don't want criminal in their city itself. So it is it is basically not our problem that where the souls will take birth. Our problem is how we can liberate ourselves and how we can liberate those who are dependent on us. So that should be our mood. So as in the last verse purport, unfortunately we might not have done this Garbhadhan sanskars and all, but because we are connected with Krishna conscious movement, because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya, we we can purify ourselves, we can elevate ourselves, and then people who are dependent on us. So Prabhupada continues in the purport that this is especially true for boys. uh, if their mother is not good, there cannot be good sons. So it is basically a Vedic belief that the consciousness of the son is derived from the mother, and the consciousness of the daughter is derived from their father. So one example is again the Kaikeshi. She was the daughter of demon king Sumali, and she was a good planner, and she motivated. She had a corrupt. She was again jealous. She had a corrupt, uh, faulty consciousness again here. Again, she was envy and jealous of her other co-wives. and she then motivated Ravana to attack Lanka, the city of gold. And at that time, Kubera was the king of. I mean, their father had given Lanka to Kubera, so Kubera was ruling over there. But he selflessly surrendered this land to Ravana on the request of Vishrava, their father. But then the result was Vishrava. Then he was because very displeased by this misdeed of Kaikeshi, and he abandoned her forever. So this is there are many such instances basically. And so here, if the mother is not good, then it, especially reflects on the boys. It is not to say that if the mother is good and the father is bad, then the sons will be good. No, it is not the case. Basically, the consciousness of both parents, they reflect on the child, but more predominantly is the consciousness of the mother. That is what it is mentioned over here. The learned Kashyapa could foresee the character of the sons who could be born of the condemned womb of Diti. This womb was condemned because of the mothers being too sexually inclined and thus transgressing all the laws and injunctions of the scriptures. Even in Bhagavad Gita, I think 17th chapter, if I'm not wrong, when Arjuna says that, hey, Krishna, I have my beliefs and all, so I just follow my belief, faith. Yeah, so I am following some faith. Is it okay? Or again, there is some issue in that. So he says the faith has to be as per the scriptures. It has to be aligned as per the scriptures. If you do not align it as per the scriptures, it will be as per the gunas that are predominating you. Just your basically your faith will be accordingly distant. So your faith, if it is your tamaguna, your faith will be more on tamasic things. You will be devoted toward the ghost, and so it has to be as per the scripture. So Indian scripture is very, very important in Vedic injunctions. Um, so in a society where such women are predominant, one should not expect good children. So if we have that mentality, we are more Indriya Tripti centric, then it will be we will have such kids, and we will end up having a demonic society, which Prabhupada stresses in this next verse purport. So last verse for the day. Shanti Mataji, if you are not already taken the verse, can you please recite?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
प्राणिनां हन्यमानानां दीनानाम् अकृतागसाम् स्त्रीणां निगृह्यमानानां गोपितेषु महात्मसु. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You want to read the translation, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Translation Srila Prabhupada ki jai. They will kill poor, faultless living entities, torture women, and endrag the great souls.
Haribol. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare.
Hanyamananam, killing. So Hanyamananam itself basically, Hanyamana means being killed by someone. So so killing itself is not bad, because Kshatriyas, they are also involved in killing, right? But that is the objective there is to uphold righteousness, dharma. Even Supreme Lord says, Vinashaya cha dushkritam, to kill the dushkritas. So killing itself is not bad. But in this case, what do demonic people do? Whom did they kill? They kill the poor and the faultless. They kill the Dinanam and the Akrita Agasam. So they kill the faultless and the poor people. So the devotee of the Lord is called a Dina Bandhu, who is the well-wisher of the poor, basically. But here, basically, what is that? Dinanam Hanyamananam is basically demonic mentality. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, these demonic activities are predominant when innocent, faultless living entities are killed, women are tortured, the great souls are engaged in Krishna consciousness, and then they are enraged. So as per our in our Vedic community, there are 5 living entities who are meant to be protected by people in general, men in general. One is the cows, second is the brahmanas, and is the third is the women, fourth are the kids, and the fifth are the elderly. So they are to be protected as per the Vedic culture. But demonic people, they tend to attack these people, this what you say, helpless part of the community. So in a demonic society, what happens? Innocent animals are killed. So cow protection. So they kill cow, they kill other innocent animals, they eat their meat. They innocent animals are killed just to satisfy the tongue. And women are tortured by unnecessary and sexual indulgence. So women are tortured, they are tortured, they are killed, they are harassed. And even the kids and the elderly people, they are bothered, they are harassed. And the people who are into who are religious, or who are into the practicing dharma and spirituality, those people are also targeted, which are the brahmanas. So basically, those sectors who need to be protected by Vedic culture in general are attacked by this demonic society. So where there are women where there are women and meat, there must be liquor and sex indulgence. So basically, in short, your four regulatory principles are broken. And when the four regulatory principles are broken, they are called demonic society. Um, the people who do that are called demons. And when such people, when demonic activities, when they become more predominant, then the when they become prominent, then the society is called as demonic society over here. So one person, he was addicted to liquor. So once he came across a learned person, a sage. So he said that you should actually stop doing that, because if you continue doing liquor, I mean, you may be, once you have liquor, you may get involved in illicit sex, and then meeting and so on and so forth. So gambling and all. So you should stop it, and the destination of that is in hell. So this person said, so my friend Suren Babu, he's also actually into drinking liquor all the time. So are you saying that will he also go to hell? So Sadhu said, yes, obviously he will go to hell. What about Anil Babu? Said, yes, if he is drinking liquor, he will also go to hell. What about Buren Babu? Yes, Buren Babu will also go to hell. And he said, that particular prostitute, she is also drinking. Will she also go to hell? The sage said, yes, obviously she will go to hell. Then this person thinks, hey, if if my company of liquor drinking, if they are going to hell, if this prostitute coming to hell, then this hell is not hell, this is heaven, I will enjoy it. So Prabhupada says that this is the mentality of people in Kali Yuga. So they do not understand, they cannot understand. Just like the pig who is eating stool, they do not understand the reality, they don't understand this is filthy thing. They just eat and they think this is heaven. Prabhupada says that if you are, I mean, if you are becoming fat, which means you are enjoying your food. And pigs, you see, usually they are fat. So Prabhupada says, which means they are enjoying their food, they are enjoying stool, and which means they think that this is heaven for them. But is this the case? No. So animalistic life, when we are living in, not even karma kand, when you are living this animalistic life, then it becomes difficult. So it is why we have karma kand, we have Vedas for such people whose intention is just to enjoy in their tripti. So Vedas says what Krishna has given to them is that, hey, you want to enjoy, I will not stop you, but please do that within this regulation. So there are some restrictions that you have to follow regulated enjoyment. It is not that you, then there will be no difference between you and animal. So since you have got a better body, you have got intelligence, then why not keep the difference? These are the Vedas, follow it. So there are some restrictions that will be followed. And when people start doing it, then slowly, gradually their consciousness evolves. And then one point they think, hey, what is the purpose of me doing all the enjoying all these things? I don't see any output in that. And then they start their spiritual journey for that. So as Krishna says in Bhagavatam, we should not disturb such people. Usually we have a tendency, because we have something good with us, we want to distribute it to everyone. Krishna consciousness. So we sometimes try to uh, chastise their demigod worship and all. So we shouldn't do that. We should let them do that. What we need to do is just pour Krishna consciousness into life. So let them do what they are doing. If they are taking intoxications on over the weekend, Fine. We have to just pour Krishna consciousness. We have to get them involved into some bhakti sangha, sadhu sangha, so discuss with them Bhagavad Gita and all. So once that happens, then automatically these qualities will move out. So it is like a glass that you have, yeah, that is that is filled with, let's say, liquor. So one way is you throw out liquor and then you fill water in that. But if the glass is kind of screwed down to this table, it is held tight to this table. You cannot remove the glass. So what you'll do? You will start pouring water into the glass of this wine or alcohol to that extent that it becomes so dilute that finally what is left is just water. So this is should be our approach. So we should pour water, pure water of Krishna consciousness into their life, that slowly they will understand the use, the purpose of this human body, and then they will slowly over the period of time gradually take up Krishna consciousness. So so when so the so Prabhupada says when these are predominant in the society, by God's grace one can expect a change. So demonic consciousness, Prabhupada is called mentioning, referring to this demonic society. So in demonic society, what is their mentality? Hey, I need enjoyment. My enjoyment should increase multifold. That shouldn't be any limit to it. But such consciousness, however, prevents one from being satisfied, because we want more, we want for more enjoyment. And so soul being from the spiritual world, this material enjoyment will never satisfy him. So the mind, and the mind always keeps tricking, hey, you are not satisfied, hey, yeah, see this is another option, enjoy it. You're not satisfied, come, this is the another option where you can enjoy. So our hunger, basically our thirst, it keeps increasing all the time. And then automatically, because of this increased lust, we end up in being envious for others. And that is what we have been discussing, right? This theme is big because Diti was envious of Aditi, jealous of Aditi, and because of which she allowed lust to she was a follower of religious principle, but she allowed then lust to kind of dominate her intelligence. So this is mine. It will increase in the future more and more. But this person is having more. He is my enemy, so I should kill him. That is the mentality of the people in Kali Yuga in general. And I will, and by killing him, oh, I will be more perfect, more powerful, more happy. So this is what Prabhupada says and some of the purport, that this is the mentality of the people in Kali Yuga. So, and under the influence of such enviousness, what happens? Demons, they always become unhappy on seeing others happy, and then because of there is unrest in the society, they kill others, they try to harm others, and because of there is suffering and unhappiness, and seeing that they try to become happy. So this is the state of people in Kali Yuga. Now, there was one study that was done by Professor Daniel Zizzo, who was from Oxford University, and there is another professor called Andrew, who was from Warwick University. So what they did is, on some test subjects, some participants, so they had some betting game, which was a means of well distribution among the participants. So while they were playing their games, they introduced some arbitrary gifts, randomly, some gifts that can be given out to the participants randomly, and this was known to other people. It was not that they gave it secretly, it was known to other people. So these people knew. So these few people have got some extra gift, extra money. So at the end of the game, they were given an option where they can anonymously, without letting others know, reduce other participants what you say accumulated wealth or points, what they refer to as burning out. So they could burn out other participant, but a condition is you have to pay a price for it. A price, you have to pay a portion of your wealth. So when they did this, uh, they were surprised to see the results. So people, they were so envious that they were willing to pay out uh, 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 their own accumulated wealth so that they can harm others. So their study showed that around two-thirds of the participant, not just a small group, two-third, which is greater than half. So two-third of the participant, they spend their money just to hurt other people. demonic society. So which ultimately reduced the amount of cash that all participants had to 20% because they used their wealth to reduce other wealth. So the overall economy was affected. And it was also observed, and they were really surprised to see this part is 15% of the advantage participants who were at advantage, they also demonstrated they were at advantage, they were already higher than most of them. So even this advantage class, this high class in this particular game, they were also jealous, or they also had an attitude of envy towards the disadvantaged, and they tried to burn them as much as possible, even more than the other advantaged people. So they were ready to burn them down. This was the level of enviousness that people carry in general in society in Kali Yuga. So this is what demonic society is. So this the other sign basically is, if you know Mrigari, there is a story of Mrigari. So Mrigari is Mriga Ari, the enemy of animals. Name itself we can understand. So he used to cut the throat, or he used to harm animals, but he never used to kill them completely. So they used to cry. These animals used to they were suffering a lot, and because of which, I mean, they used to do it to all animals. And when Narada Muni, being compassionate, once asked them, "Hey, do you know what you're doing?" He first thought that Narada Muni is someone who has come to buy deer, so buy deer skin, because these sages usually use deer skin to sit on it. But Narada said, "Hey, I'm not come here to buy deer skin from you, but to tell you that what you're doing is wrong. Do you understand what is pap and punya?" Uh, he said, "No." "Then why are you doing this?" "Because my father taught me to do so." So this is one other sign of asuras. They even don't know what they are doing. In Bhagavatam it is said, uh, pravit, pravittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidur asuraha. Means these demonic people, they do not, their nature is such that they do not understand what actions are proper, what actions are improper. Nivritti and pravritti, they do not understand what is that. That is the nature of the asuras. So this is another quality of asuras. But it is not only Mrigari or not only these demons that are killers. Even we are the killers. We all are killers, killers of our soul, if we are not engaged in spiritual activity. So Prabhupada says that if with all the facilities that we have got through arrangement of Krishna and our last karmas, if we have got good facilities, even with all, and we have got a human body, which is the topmost facility that we have got as a soul, then this facility, if you don't utilize it for self-realization, we don't utilize this life for self-realization, then we must be considered as Atmaha. Atmaha means the killer of the soul. So such people are actually destroying themselves. And when we live our life as animistic life, we are literally killing ourselves, and either through rapid death or through a gradual death. So this is our state in Kali Yuga. So then Prabhupada continues in the purport, when there are predominant in the society, demonic society that we just discussed, by God's grace, one can expect a change in the social order. So here God is our Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So by his grace, actually, we can expect a change in the social order by the Lord himself or by his bona fide representative. So when we the Lord Himself comes, or through His bona fide representative, He tries to uplift the society. We can expect a change, positive change in the society. So in Shrimad Bhagwatam 1.5.23, the purport, Srila Prabhupada says the whole cosmic creation basically at once it becomes identical to the Supreme Lord as soon as we perform our duties in connection with the Lord under the guidance of spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master. So Prabhupada says that the whole creation becomes identical with the Lord. So what to talk about just uplifting demonic society and becoming making it a sattvic society. It is Prabhupada talking, they have become identical with Lord, which means it is spiritual. So eh, so the Vaishnavas, the Acharyas, the Gurus, the pure devotee of the Lord, what they do is they know the art of how to utilize everything in the matter of in glorifying the Lord, using everything in service of the Lord. And therefore, under his guidance, under the guidance of the bona fide representative of the Lord, what happens is the whole world can turn into Vrindavan. It can turn into the spiritual abode. So this is letter from Srila Prabhupada to Ravindra Gupta. So he says that you have asked how serious would it be for me if I would miss the golden opportunity to become your initiated disciple. So Prabhupada says, you should know that the value of accepting a bona fide spiritual master is more than we can calculate. It is not a mere formality. This is what Prabhupada says. So having bona fide spiritual master, having guru is very, very, very important. It is not just a formality. Of course, everyone is encouraged to chant Hare Krishna, but until one gives up the sinful activities and becomes determined to serve Krishna through his representative, then the firm fixing up of devotional service will not take hold, and there is every chance that one may fall prey to all sorts of material desires. So Hare Krishna chanting is effective, but Kali is also very strong. Maya is also very strong. So we may fall down. So hence we have to take shelter of our spiritual master, who is the representative of the Lord. So and have to come back again in the next life. And one cannot guarantee that he will be born in the form of light that he may desire. I know you have been attending our temple in Boston sometimes, and that you wish to be a sincere devotee of Krishna. So go on faithfully with your chanting and pray to God to give strength and advancing in his service. It is a fact, however, that we must become free from all material desires before going back to Godhead. And this can only be achieved by following the instructions of the bona fide spiritual master. So we have to take the shelter of bona fide spiritual master. They are doing the service of spreading the name Harinam Kirtanam. But in the war, as we have seen, an unfortunate war that took place, that is still in place between Ukraine and Russia. We had seen in Ukraine where they were short of soldiers. What did it? They took up the civilians and asked them to fight for the nation. So here, similarly, Maya is very strong. So it is not that bona fide spiritual masters, the experts, have to fight. Even we as the civilians who are not so expert, but we have to take up this fight against Maya under their shelter. It is not the civilians took guns and they started fighting. They were under the guidance of this army. So we have to take up to this war under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, and everyone of us must start preaching. This is very, very, very important. So preaching in we should preach, and Krishna says in Bhagavatam, when someone tries to spread his message, he becomes very pleased with that person. So Prabhupada says in one of the letters to Tusta Krishna, I will end with this note, that he says, I want to see my disciples become bona fide spiritual masters and spread Krishna consciousness very widely. So he says, by doing this, that will make me and Krishna very happy. So if we are genuinely, we desire to make Prabhupada happy, we want to serve Srila Prabhupada, then this is one of the important service that we should do besides chanting, taking prasadam. That is propagating the name of propagating the holy name of the Lord, preaching. So my request to all, if you are not already taken up, either new devotees, new seekers, then engage yourself in sadhu sangha, take different shastras, make different read Prabhupada books. Your concepts will be strong, and start preaching. Don't wait till you become perfect, because at least in my case, I understand that I can never be perfect. So, but the shastras are perfect. Prabhupada's books are perfect. So we take perfect knowledge and give perfect knowledge. For us, we did not be a perfect medium. So we'll end our discussion over here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I would like to open up. Mataji, do we have? I think I understand that I've gone over
Yeah,
the time.
yes, Prabhu, but very nice session, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Now, I won't speak much, but I will ask devotees if they have any question. We can take one or two questions quickly, or any comments. Suma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Dandavat pranams to you.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
my question is that faith in the gunas and faith in the scriptures you said, Prabhuji, what does that mean, Prabhuji? Like the difference I could not make out.
Faith in the gurus and faith in the scriptures.
Yes, Prabhuji. You said
Sorry,
in the
your
class.
question is, you are saying what is the difference between having a faith in the guru and
You
faith
can
in the
have
scriptures?
faith in the modes. This is what you said, Prabhuji, and
No,
faith
okay.
on the scriptures. So I
Okay,
could not.
so it is okay. What I was referring is, sorry if I was not clear. So what I was referring is, when you place your faith without aligning with the scriptures. So we have to align with our faith as per the scriptures. That is what Krishna is saying. But if we don't do that, if we don't abide by the scriptures, we just ignore the scriptures and we say, hey, I have my own faith, I will follow my own faith. When we do that, then that faith is basically what you say, influenced by the three gunas. So if the prominent guna at the time is tamas, then your faith will be directed towards the tamas part of it. So in the mode of ignorance. So your faith will be basically in the ghost, in the pishasas, or similar, basically taking you towards the hellish life. If you're at that point of time, if a predominant guna is sattvic, then your faith will be more sattvic. You may probably say, hey, helping other charity, doing charity in others is something is good, then you may probably end up doing that. But the disadvantage of this is, one is you do not know where you will end up because it is all controlled by the gunas. And the other disadvantage is, Krishna says that if you don't follow scriptures and faith, if you put your faith as per the scriptures, you will never reach me. You will never reach me. So even if you have sattvic faith, but still that is not sufficient for us to reach Krishna. So for us, we have to have our faith as per the scriptures. And if we don't do that, then our gunas, predominant gunas, will then influence our faith, and then we'll be directed to different, will be still part of this material world, end up being the part of this material world.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Understood, Prabhuji. That is what we have to what to say, follow the instructions given by the spiritual master and abide by the scriptures. That is what, no, Prabhuji, like we should do.
Yes, Mataji.
That, okay, according to our own imagination and thinking, we should not perform any devotions service. Okay.
That's true, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so no more questions. Thank you, Prabhu. You have simplified these verses so much so that on the level of our understanding, at least my understanding, there were many hidden points which you have covered in these 5 shlokas. So thank you so much, Prabhu. We'll end the session here because there's another session which will start at 11 o'clock.
Sure, Mataji.
So, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And Koti
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Shall I end the session, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, please. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Hare Bol.